people that you have to try to incorporate in those decisions. It's just different. As today, like we said, Maryland's quarterback, that's going to be a big story. Guys are opting out, and it's happening all across the country. And so just looking at that, Jason, it's the question is, how does that impact the games that we're seeing? Because a lot of the teams are a lot different than what we saw during the regular season. And so, there's some opportunities for young guys to come in and play. There's going to be chances for some of the older guys to solidify themselves, the ones that are opting in and are playing in the game and finishing the season strong with their teammates. But the key is trying to figure out what that balance is for everyone, Andy, and trying to make sure that, hey, when we look at this thing, what does it look like? It's a whole new team in some cases for a lot of guys. I think you said it, and you coined the phrase last night.
Paul.
He coined the phrase last night that, Coach Freeze took, and it was like, Keontae and
the kids.
Keontae and the kids. Totally different secondary for the most part. And so, what does that look like in a game like this where this isn't a familiar opponent either. You're playing someone different.
And it's also bowl season. And weird things happen, odd things happen, crazy things happen.
Fake
in
punts,
bowl season.
all kinds of special plays.
And already this year we have seen backup third-string quarterbacks have fabulous games for their team. We saw it with Western Kentucky. We saw it with USC in the last couple of games. And that's what gives me a little pause going in here with Billy Edwards as the quarterback for Maryland today and not Talia Tungavaloa.
Well, Billy Edwards was highly, highly recruited, even though he hadn't had the chance to throw the ball very much. And he's the guy they've been using, Jason, as their short yardage quarterback, their tush-push guy on the goal line and on 4th and 1 when they go for it. So he's taken a lot of snaps. He just hadn't thrown the ball around very much.
Yeah, Edwards, like I say, he started last year against Northwestern where he was 18 for 28 passing the ball. Like I said, they like to utilize his legs more than they do his arm.
This year for sure.
Yeah, for this year for sure. But going back to what Andy was saying, a lot of third-string quarterbacks looking really good in bowl games is because, you know why? They want to put something on film just in case they want to hit the portal. They can go somewhere else and make themselves more marketable from a standpoint of trying to go get a starting job somewhere. So
or they want to be the guy coming back next year for that school.
Right.
They're trying to lock up that starting spot for 2024 right now.
All right, so it's kind of raised the level of competition where no one can get comfortable nowadays because of the NIL perspective of it and also just being a chance to have a play.
All right, we're counted down to kickoff for Auburn against Maryland. It'll be the fourth meeting of these two teams. Auburn leads at 2-1, and of course one of the big ones back in 1983. We're going to be talking about that a little later on. By the way, eat a Whataburger and earn points toward more Whataburger. Jump into a whole world of more when you start earning points. That's right. When you start earning points with Whataburger rewards. Don't wait. Download the Whataburger app and get started today. Well, coming up today, we'll speak with Mario Eden from the Auburn University College of Engineering. A little bit later on, we'll speak with Tommy Agee. It's been 40 years since that huge game against the 7th-ranked Maryland Terrapins at Jordan-Hare Stadium, and Tommy will reminisce with us a little bit about that. Later on, Josh Bynes, recently retired from the NFL, great Auburn linebacker. Jarrett Stidham, who was the most valuable player here 5 years ago in Auburn's last bowl victory when Auburn set all sorts of records, and Johnny Holliday, the voice of the Maryland Terps for almost a half century. All that coming up when the Tiger Tailgate Show continues in a moment.
It's game day. What do you take to the tailgate? A flat screen TV? Take it to the tailgate. Your wife's favorite blender? The DJ sound system? With a Ford F-150 truck, you can take it all. With available Pro Power onboard that acts like a mobile generator, you can use F-150 to take your tailgate to the next level. Visit your local Ford dealer today. The Auburn Tigers and Ford F-150. Greatness starts here. See owner's manual for important operating instructions.
Hey, Auburn fans, it's time to stretch those legs and reach for another bag of Golden Flake. Home or away, with family or friends, you know no game day is complete without your favorite snack. So enjoy Golden Flake or any of our other delicious snacks from the Utz family of brands and sit back for the rest of the game. Golden Flake and Auburn football, a winning team. Simple Southern goodness. Golden Flake, celebrating 66 years as the official salty snack of the Auburn Tigers.
Children's of Alabama reminds you that every child's head injury should be treated like a serious injury until a doctor says it's not. In fact, the CDC estimates some 4 million sports and recreation-related concussions occur each year. Even a minor fall or collision may be a concern. Symptoms typically include headaches, unsteadiness, confusion, or sleepiness. To find out what to do in case of a suspected concussion, visit childrensal.org/concussion and always dial 911 in case of an emergency.
By now, your daily routine is probably a little too routine. Don't you want to change? Don't you want to start playing by your own rules and escape the routine so your fantasy becomes reality? Where every night is an adventure, where new flavors are ready to be tasted, where it feels like you're a winner. Take a chance. Reward yourself. Make your routine anything but routine. Escape every day at Wind Creek Casino and WindCreekCasino.com.
This is a 2-minute drill on the Tiger Tailgate Show, presented by Conecuh Sausage.
Paul Ellen here in Nashville with Andy Burcham as we counted down to kick off Auburn against Maryland. And Andy, we're going to veer off topic a little bit here for a couple of minutes and talk Auburn basketball. The Tigers play tonight. It's a long day on the Auburn Sports Network, but hopefully a very worthwhile day as a big game tonight. The Tigers continue to march through the non-conference schedule and reaching the very end of that.
Chattanooga comes to Neville Arena tonight. Our own Brad Law, Randall Dickey, Jacob Hillman will have the call on the Auburn Sports Network starting at 7:30 tonight. It's an 8 o'clock tip-off. They moved that game when Auburn found out that it would be playing here at 1 o'clock in football today. So, but Auburn, of course, carries the long non-conference win streak into tonight's ball game. Another streak that will continue as a sellout at Neville Arena as well. So a big one tonight for Auburn. Auburn plays tonight against against Chattanooga, and then hosts Penn on January 2nd, and that's before things start for the Southeastern Conference. Auburn opens its SEC play at Arkansas next weekend. So 2 more non-conference games to get Auburn ready for what should be a rugged Southeastern Conference schedule.
30 seconds. Assess the team so far. Strengths and weaknesses. Certainly, you start with the point guard in the 5 position.
Well, that is the strength on the floor. Also, its depth. I mean, Auburn is truly 11 strong, 11 deep. And I think that will work to Auburn's advantage as they get into the Southeastern Conference. And I think Auburn's got to get better at on-ball defense throughout this season. That's one thing that Bruce Pearl talks about over and over.
All right. Exciting times for Auburn basketball and a big day on the Auburn Sports Network. Broadcasting football and basketball. We'll be with you all day as you count it down towards your new year. Stay with us. This is the Auburn Sports Network from Playfly.
Whether we're walking an extra lap, crushing a new goal, or spending time with friends cheering in the stands, we all win when we feel healthier and happier. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Alabama is a proud sponsor of athletic programs across the state. Because a healthier Alabama is a happier Alabama. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Alabama. We cover what matters.
Here's a clip from a recent Talking Tigers podcast with Andy Burcham.
Ralph Jordan Jr.
The name Jordan is spelled like Jordan, of course. You know, I never knew the origin of that pronunciation until I started doing the family genealogy stuff up in West Virginia, where my great-grandfather was from. And the state archivist there in Charleston told me that it was a Welsh pronunciation, that the Welsh did not want to be confused with the Irish, so they took the Jordan and turned it into Jordan. Now, in the cemeteries and things around Salem and down around Benson Township, you will see it spelled Gerden, Jerden, Jordan, but all of them pronounce it Jordan.
A new episode of the Talking Tigers podcast is released every Monday, wherever you listen to podcasts. Like and subscribe to the Talking Tigers podcast, only from the Auburn Sports Network.
Hey, I'm Charles Barkley. Call for a Redmont and water at bars and restaurants throughout the great state of Alabama. Redmont Vodka, available at select ABC stores and package stores. Redmont Vodka is 8 times distilled, gluten-free, and is made from non-GMO corn. Looking to support a local business? Redmont Distilling is Alabama proud and minority owned. Learn more online at redmontdistilling.com.
And welcome back to the Tiger Tailgate Show as we count it down to kickoff. Auburn against Maryland here in the Music City Bowl from Nashville. Time for our campus spotlight today. And today it's Andy Burcham talking with Mario Eden, the new dean of the Samuel Ginn College of Engineering. Let's hear what Dean Eden has to say.
Very glad to have on our Music City Bowl pregame show today Mario Eden, who is the dean for the Samuel Ginn College of Engineering. Took over as the dean in May. Glad to have you here. War Eagle.
War Eagle, thank you for having me.
Let's talk a little bit about the Samuel Ginn College of Engineering, and I know that it's a quiet time right now as you gear up for another semester, but talk about just the work that y'all are doing with the Samuel Ginn College of Engineering and some of the specific things that you're doing at this time of the year.
Okay, so this is really the time to reload and recharge for the faculty after finals are over and prep for the next year. At the college level, it's also a time to take stock of all the things that we've accomplished in the past year. We've had a banner year for the college. We welcomed our largest freshman class this fall. We also finished up the best year ever in research with over $90 million in new awards this past year, so we're very excited about that. We're excited about the opportunities that lie ahead. We have a lot of activities in research and in the classroom going on, so we're looking forward to a very prosperous 2024.
Since coming from Denmark to Auburn, could you have ever dreamed that at one day you would become the dean of the Samuel Ginn College of Engineering?
No, I am tremendously blessed to get to do this, but no, I have been very fortunate in my career to be at the right place at the right time, and that place has been Auburn. I never planned to be a professor nor a department chair or a dean, so I have been very, very fortunate.
What is your background in engineering?
I'm a chemical engineer by training.
Yeah, all right. As you move forward now and you look at what happens with the Samuel Ginn College of Engineering, I know one of the things that is being celebrated at this time of the year is 100 years of women in Auburn engineering. How important is that?
It's tremendous. One of the things that we have to always remember is that it's important for students to have role models. If they can see one, they know they can be one. And so celebrating 100 years of women was a big deal for us. Our percentage of women is continuing to grow. We're slowly inching upwards. We still have work to do to bring it even higher, but we're moving in the right direction. We are at 23% women in the college right now, and we want to keep pushing that needle further. And we have some fantastic female alums that help us with this. Our 100+ Women Strong program is a trailblazer for these kind of activities that everyone wants to emulate across engineering colleges in the country. And we just celebrated 11 years of that program. It's continuing to grow. We have over 300 alumni members that are sponsoring and supporting this, giving out over $300,000 in scholarships to support, recruit, retain, and reward female students in engineering. So we're tremendously proud of that.
How competitive? I mean, I know as a whole it's competitive just to get into Auburn. We know that well over 50,000 freshmen applied at Auburn University. Take that down another level. How competitive is it as far as entry into the Samuel Ginn College of Engineering?
I mean, it's competitive for sure. We don't control admissions at the college level. It's all handled centrally. But, we're really, really pleased with the quality of the students that we're getting. Not that ACT scores are everything by any means, but it is the one standard indicator that we have to evaluate the incoming freshmen, and the average ACT score keeps going up. And so we get better and better raw materials to work with, which should translate to even better engineers when they graduate. So we're really blessed to work with some fantastic students.
Huntsville is such an important area, and men's basketball was just there playing at the Von Braun Center. And I know that engineering is very important to the number of businesses, corporations, and industries that are in Huntsville. How does the Samuel Ginn College of Engineering, how does that tap into the Huntsville area?
I mean, it's a tremendous opportunity for our college and for the whole university. I was just up there. We had a number of events, including one for 100+ Women Strong at the Auburn University facility there. I met with a couple of our corporate partners up there already, and they're excited about the opportunities. We have tremendous opportunities to bring Auburn to Huntsville with the new facility, but also to bring Huntsville to Auburn. It's a phenomenal opportunity for research, for applied research, for making an impact on national security, on aerospace, all the things that engineers should be doing. We want to provide practical solutions to the nation's problems, and this is an opportunity for us to be a key partner for those entities and agencies up there, and having a physical presence is really key. It's a lot easier for them to see us and recognize us all the time by having the building there right across from Redstone Arsenal. And contracts are coming in. We're building more and more capacity and partnerships. We have not even scratched the surface of what we're going to be able to do in Huntsville. It's going to be tremendous.
Dean Mario Eden is our guest, Dean of the Samuel Ginn College of Engineering. Not only research there in Huntsville, but at the other end of the state, down at Orange Beach as well.
That's an exciting new facility that we're working on designing and getting constructed. It's a partnership with the city of Orange Beach. They provided the land to put the facility on, and the funds to build the building is coming from the Federal Restore Act, so that comes out of the BP oil spill money. We're really excited about this opportunity to be able to work with the city and have this opportunity to do coastal engineering, pardon me.
You mentioned research. How important is research with regard to the Samuel Ginn College of Engineering?
It's extremely important. President Roberts has indicated he wants the university to double its research portfolio, and we make up a significant portion of that. And if we want to be recognized as a college among the schools that I feel we deserve to be recognized among, we also have to double our research. But we can do this. We've tripled it in the last 5 years, so we have shown the capacity for doing so. The research is key, but the dollars are really just the fuel for the engine. What matters is what we do with it. And we want to do it in a way that fits our land-grant mission. We want to do research in the spirit of training graduate students in terms of getting solutions out there that can actually improve people's lives and drive our economy. It's not just study for the sake of study. We want to provide solutions. We want to be known for the impact that Auburn Engineering is having. And it's key, but it's not a competitive situation where you can only be great at one. So you either have to focus on research or teaching. I am a firm believer that we can be great at both, and we've demonstrated that, and so we're going to do both and do them really well.
Thank you for the visit. We certainly appreciate you. We certainly appreciate your partnership with the Auburn Sports Network. Have a happy holidays.
Same to you. Thanks for having me.
War Eagle.
That's Dean Mario Eden talking with Andy Burcham. Dean Eden, the head of the Samuel Ginn College of Engineering at Auburn. A lot of great things going on there. Well, it's time for your injury report brought to you by the East Alabama Health. And the injury report, probably not good. The flu has kind of gone through the Auburn team. Fortunately, early in bowl practice, a number of players got the flu. A number have been treated so far. They expect everyone who made the trip to play. Otherwise, Jalen Simpson, a little bit more dinged up than he thought, and he'll be sitting out this game as well. We'll talk about more about that in the secondary a little bit later on. The pregame physical report is brought to you by East Alabama Health. Their team of first responders are proud to provide first aid care at today's game and at every Auburn athletic event. Stay with us. The Tiger Tailgate Show continues in a moment.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for... Aw, Jim.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
We're still on the air.
Hello, this is Coach Hugh Freeze. They say Coke Zero Sugar is irresistibly tasty. Does that make it the best Coke ever? Find out for yourself. War Eagle.
Saturdays in the South mean football and outdoor projects. And when it comes to outdoor projects, nothing beats quality John Deere equipment from a team you can depend on. That's why we trust Sun South, where owning the best equipment made is easy and affordable, whether you're working on your lawn, camp, farm, job site, or even ball field. For all your outdoor equipment needs, visit Sun South with 21 convenient locations or shop online at sunsouth.com. Sun South, equipment for those that do. Sun South is the preferred tractor dealer of the Auburn Tigers.
Hey Auburn fans, it's Coach Freeze. Few plays are more exciting than the sack. For every Auburn sack this season, a donation is made to help the Ascension St. Vincent's Foundation invest in PE equipment for schools around the state. Cultivating a healthy lifestyle early helps prevent chronic diseases. Please join Jill and me by making a donation to SAC Childhood Obesity. Visit stvhsfoundation.org, War Eagle.
The Alabama Manufactured Housing Association has been proud to sponsor the 2023 Auburn Tigers. Since 1968, the Alabama Manufactured Housing Association has led the way for the manufactured and modular housing industry. Manufactured and modular housing provides safe, innovative, and affordable housing solutions for nearly 500,000 Alabamians. To learn more about AMHA or find the authorized retailer near you, visit alamha.org.
This is a 2-minute drill on the Tiger Tailgate Show, presented by Conecuh Sausage.
Paul Ella here, back with you in Nashville with Jason Campbell. And Jason, after the Alabama game, Auburn fans' attention quickly shifted to two things: basketball and recruiting. And certainly it was kind of fun to see Auburn be a national player on the recruiting stage once again.
Yeah, Auburn did an outstanding job. Kudos to this coaching staff and everyone that was involved in getting out and recruiting this year. This is Coach Freeze's first real class. I know last year he came in, but it was kind of towards the end of the year, so everything was a scramble. But now this year, having a full season to recruit guys and build a relationship with their families, it showed in the process, because now we finished right now with number 7 class, but with an opportunity to move up in February with a couple more big names that's still out there, and Auburn is still in the hunt for. So this has turned out to be a class that I think is going to change the program. If you look at the receiver program, the receiver room, we signed 2 of the top 10 guys in the country at that position, and maybe we'll see what happens in February with the opportunity to land another one. But this receiver room has just taken probably the best class we've seen in that position in history, and just based out of coming out of high school. So that's going to be exciting to see. Will the offense change next year around these guys? So we'll see what happens.
And the linebacker class, among the top linebacker classes in the country, and certainly when you look at the guys here about to leave, that's a big deal as well.
Yeah, the linebacker class is really good. We had 6 guys that was able to participate in bowl practice from that class. So to get that early experience was huge. And like I said, finished number 7 so far, but we'll see what happens.
Auburn with 6 of the new signees out for bowl practice, which is certainly giving them a good start. 10 more will be enrolling in January, so a total of 16 of Auburn's signees out for spring training, and that will certainly be a factor. That's 2-minute drill. Stay with us. This is the Auburn Sports Network from Playfly.
Sports not only bring us together, they inspire us on our own health journeys. Whether we're walking an extra lap, crushing a new goal, or spending time with friends cheering in the stands, we all win when we feel healthier and happier. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Alabama is a proud sponsor of athletic programs across the state. Because a healthier Alabama is a happier Alabama. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Alabama. We cover what matters.
When we say we're an everything school, we mean it. Auburn University isn't just home to the best athletics program in the nation, it's also home to the best student-centered engineering experience in America. And that's not just a slogan, it's a promise. The Samuel Ginn College of Engineering ranks as the top engineering college in the state of Alabama, while also ranking as one of the best public engineering colleges in the nation. Tomorrow's leaders, innovators, and world changers begin at the Ginn College of Engineering. Visit today, eng.auburn.edu.
Children's of Alabama reminds you that every child's head injury should be treated like a serious injury until a doctor says it's not. In fact, the CDC estimates some 4 million sports and recreation-related concussions occur each year. Even a minor fall or collision may be a concern. Symptoms typically include headaches, unsteadiness, confusion, or sleepiness. To find out what to do in case of a suspected concussion, visit childrensal.org/concussion and always dial 911 in case of an emergency.
The Whataburger Jalapeno Cheddar Biscuit is back. But some folks have yet to try it. So let's not do the thing where we're like, "You've never had a jalapeno cheddar biscuit before?" You know what? It's okay. Let's just invite them to try this flaky, cheesy, and slightly spicy goodness for themselves. The Jalapeno Cheddar Biscuit, available as a sandwich or on its own from 11 p.m. to 11 a.m. for a limited time at participating locations. Whataburger, just like you like it.
Welcome to the Tiger Tailgate Show. Paul Allen with Andy Burcham, Jason Campbell, Ronnie Brown, as we count it down to kickoff for Auburn against Maryland in the Music City Bowl. One of the new things for this game and for several of the bowl games this year, Andy, has been the use of electronic communication, both helmet communication for quarterbacks and for defensive captains, as well as for tablets on the sideline. Auburn has opted to only use the tablets, as has all the other SEC teams. However, Maryland will be using helmet communication. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, it comes in a year where we've heard so much about teams stealing signs and scouting in person and that type of thing, so it all comes to that. And one of the solutions that came out of the Michigan situation was go to what the pros do with the electronic. Now, listen, I mean, we've got a guy here that used that in his career. So
yeah, he had the green sticker for
Jason,
a while.
Talk about, I mean, how easy was it to adapt to that communication from the sideline when you were playing in the NFL?
It was pretty easy. It makes everything goes faster. We can thank Michigan for moving the NFL to college football. But, it does have a cutoff period, though. So if you look at the play clock, it's 15 seconds in the NFL, and it shuts off. So, you still have to have that guy beside you to give a signal just in case the communication doesn't go through. You have someone, is usually another quarterback or another person on offense to kind of give that signal to the quarterback.
But that's not the case.
No, they can talk
the
all the way through the play.
Yeah, they can talk during the play. And Auburn decided to go with the tablets on the sidelines to be able to see. How much did you use that when you were playing?
Yeah, we started using the tablets running. I'd probably say, our 5th year in the league is when they started coming out with the iPad tablets to go over the plays once you get to the sideline, which is really helpful because you can go back, watch the play, rewind it, see who's open, see if the coach want to dial it up again. So it's so much information that you're getting within the game and everything. And I think they probably should take a look of trying to utilize that helmet situation. I like that because the communication can go really fast.
Ronnie, how much did you utilize the tablet?
Well, luckily for me, I played a position where it's more reaction, and it's for the guys that are much smarter than I, because up to the quarterbacks or the middle linebacker or the guy on the defense who's the defensive quarterback, that's a situation where they use it. As a running back, I'll go over and we use more of the tablets, and it was more so in blitz situations or pass protection pickups and kind of see and review what we missed or what we may have seen where guys are starting to come from. But for the communication, I think it's good for the game, and like everything else that we're starting to see, it was only a matter of time before the NFL got to college level. And so, I think it's good, and it's always good to have that trial run. And for these guys, you try to weigh the pros and the cons of anything like this. Is the communication. You got a guy talking to you. Is that, something that your quarterback can handle? Or, is your guy one of those more, let me go out, read, and react, and then I'll play the game, and then we'll come over and communicate it. So it just depends on, what fits your personnel and how to best use that. And technology is always a good thing when it works correctly.
The only tablets they had when you and Jason played, Ronnie, were the 10 Commandments. I mean, they didn't really have other tablets roaming around then. But nonetheless, Jason, what would you think, though, without the cutoff as they have in college? You could warn the quarterback if he's about to take a blindside hit.
Yeah, if you didn't have the cutoff, I'm pretty sure it'd be a lot of cheating going on where, they see rotation and say, hey, throw the ball to X, or throw the ball to Z. So to take that out at 15 seconds, it's still a huge win because these kids go no huddle so much nowadays. You can get lined up quickly, and then all of a sudden you can act like you're about to simulate the play, let the defense show their hand, and then in the ear you can have someone tell the quarterback, hey, call this play.
Yeah.
Because it still hadn't got to 15 seconds. Andy, you know this. They go so fast. There's a way to get around this to make it really special for these offenses.
Yeah, I don't know if it is definitively going to be used in the future, but, boy, it sure seems as though that is the wave of the future. How quickly that happens in the college game, I guess, is to be determined at this point, Paul.
Absolutely. In the past, with a month to get ready for bowl games, and we've seen it some this year, there are two aspects of bowls that really don't factor in much in the regular season. One is gadget plays. Boy, you see a lot of fake punts, a lot of kind of specialty plays, throwbacks to the tackle and that kind of thing. The other thing you see, guys, is pre-snap penalties. It's like an opening game of the season. It's really interesting to see some of the things that happen in these bowl games when coaches have a little bit too much time to prepare.
Well, I don't know if they got too much time no more, Paul. You listened to Coach Freeze last night talk about the transfer portal window.
Yeah, the calendar has certainly changed. Yeah,
the calendar of December got these guys turning gray like Ronnie over here a lot faster. But
wow,
I will say
our responsibilities.
Hey, it's called responsibility. You're exactly
You're
right.
to get you some.
But, hey, I'll tell you, you got a month. Our last game was November 25th.
Right.
It's been a month and 6 days before we played a football game. So you do have a lot of time to create some gadget plays, but at the same time, the coaches didn't know who's going to run these gadget plays running because you don't know who's going to opt in or opt out.
Yeah, and you just talk about timing. One, it allows you the opportunity to get healthy and healed up, but then it also allows you the opportunity to become rusty because, a lot of these young men aren't thinking about football. They're thinking they have other things on their mind. As coaches, you have other responsibilities that leads to the gray hair. You're talking about trying to manage a lot of 18 to 23-year-old personality, sometimes 25, as the last few years we've seen. But it's, it's a lot of preparation. It's a lot of fun. Then the week of the bowl game, you have the extracurricular things and the festivities that come along with being in bowl season, the holiday season. And so there's so many things in moving. But when you talk about the football game, it's trying to harness all that energy, bring it back into a focus and say, okay, now we need to do the things. And that's what leads to, I think, Paul, the pre-snap issues, some of the penalties, a lot of the self-inflicted things that you're starting to see. And then, but it does give the offensive-minded coaches the opportunity, Andy, to add some things where it's the tush push or now the play that's developing off of the tush push where it's kind of like almost a reverse and a speed sweep off of that. And so they can get creative, and a lot of times, like a lot of the rules, they are tailored to the offensive side of the ball.
Well, from a defensive standpoint for Auburn today, get used to these names: Kayan Lee, Colton Hood, J.C. Hart, Sylvester Smith, Champ Anthony, Caleb Wooden. Those are guys, Terrence Love. These are guys that we haven't called the name very often this season. We're going to see those guys out there against a good passing offense in Maryland. Even with the backup quarterback and Billy Edwards Jr. today, Auburn's defense, Auburn's secondary primarily, will certainly be tested here today, and it's going to be guys that I think Auburn feels these guys are going to be good players in the future, but they've got to step up today.
Well, you can't sleep on the backup quarterbacks that we've seen around the bowl games. These guys come out firing. So, don't expect Edwards just come out here today and just, be a running machine. They're going to try to find a way to get the ball to these 3 receivers that have over 600 yards receiving this year down the field. But the best thing about this game is the guys you mentioned besides Kayan Lee, none of these guys has played in more than 4 games. So they can still play in this game and be considered a red shirt. So, that helps out as well.
Yeah, you don't pass for 11,000 yards in 3 years without some guys who can catch it as well. Right. They're not just going to abandon those guys because the quarterback is gone.
Yeah, and I think, too, when you look at the game and the way that they're set up, the biggest challenge now is having depth. And so how do you establish depth when you got so many moving parts? And so trying to get those guys, because bowl games are when that depth's going to matter with guys opting out.
Well, Hugh Freeze is 6-1 in bowls. We'll see if he can keep that alive. He's obviously doing something right when it comes to the postseason. The Picks for Kids program is back for its 12th season. Chick-fil-A is donating $1,000 to Children's of Alabama for every interception by the Tigers. Hopefully we see some new guys with some picks today. Picks for Kids benefits nearly 2,000 kids every month in the Hearing and Speech Center at Children's. War Eagle and eat more chicken. Stay with us. The Tiger Tailgate Show continues in a moment.
Conecuh sausage is a fan favorite for tailgating, always great on the grill, and it's the official sausage dog and hot dog of the Auburn Tigers. Conecuh sausage is made from the finest cuts of pork. Their patented blend. Be sure to visit the Conecuh Gift Shop in Evergreen, Alabama, right off I-65 at exit 96. Enjoy a crowd-pleasing Conecuh sausage dog while watching the Tigers and make Conecuh part of your game day. Conecuh sausage since 1947, a real winner.
Thinking of advancing your career with a master's degree in business? If so, consider the graduate degree choices at Auburn University's Harbert College of Business. Ranked among the nation's best, we offer full-time and online programs in finance, supply chain management, information systems, accounting, and business administration. Learn more at harbert.auburn.edu.
Hey, it's Amanda, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A nugget trays is that they're so easy for the holidays. They're warm and flavorful. It's always a crowd pleaser. When I put down a nugget tray, everyone is happy.
Hey, this is Brian, and the little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A nugget trays is the joy that it brings to me and everybody around me during the holidays. They're warm, juicy, and delicious.
Cater the holidays with Chick-fil-A today. Available on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Are you stuck scrolling endlessly looking for a good sci-fi show? Step away from the algorithm and discover a whole world of TV programmed by humans with Pluto TV. Star Trek The Next Generation, Godzilla, Farscape, Charmed, and The Twilight Zone, all for free. It's TV the way it should be. Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never.
This is a 2-minute drill on the Tiger Tailgate Show, presented by Conecuh Sausage.
And welcome back to Nashville. Paul Allen, Ronnie Brown in this 2-minute drill. 16 of the number 7 so far ranked signing class for Auburn. 16 of those guys will be here for spring training, as well as 3 portal guys that Auburn has signed. So 19 new faces minimum, and there may be a couple more added. Ronnie, it's going to be a new-look team when it comes to A-Day this spring.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at this, no pun intended, you're playing musical chairs, because who's coming in, who's going out. And like we talked about with Coach Freeze, it's, you don't know the scheduling of it. It allows it with, you got the portal opens twice, and so you got guys still coming, guys still going. And so trying to figure out that and trying to find consistency in it. The good thing is you have 19 guys already here, so they will have some familiarity with how things work, trying to get acclimated to being at Auburn. And so hopefully that helps them going into the spring and allows them to be a little bit more comfortable and get a little added touch or a little advantage going into it.
A little bit of strategy here by the Auburn coaches as well. When you look at those 16 guys plus the signees from the portal, 2 signees from the portal are receivers. One's a defensive lineman. A lot of linebackers, defensive linemen, and receivers coming in early as well. Those are two position groups that were priorities.
Yeah, and I think when you get a chance to do it early, you get a chance to see, like, okay, where are some areas that we need to impact? And, for the linebacker position, that's somewhere you want guys with a little bit more experience. And so you get a chance to address those needs, and then as it goes on, kind of say, okay, well, we feel these things. Now what do we have to play with?
So we'll look forward to Andy Burcham on the A-Day broadcast this year to learn all those new names and numbers. Stay with us. This is the Auburn Sports Network from Playfly.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
Here's a clip from a recent Talking Tigers podcast with Andy Burcham.
Ralph Jordan Jr.
I can remember when the announcement came, we had 15,000 people in our front yard over on Woodfield. And I can remember my mother running around telling them not to step in her flower beds and things, and she might as well have been howling at the moon. They were there for that one purpose, and they wanted to get old Shug and carry him down College Street back to Toomer's Corner, but he wouldn't go. It was pandemonium. I don't think the population of Auburn was much more than that at that time. It was a special moment, and there was, some near misses and things along the way, but that one, just everything fell into place, and that's what has to happen.
A new episode of the Talking Tigers podcast is released every Monday, wherever you listen to podcasts. Like and subscribe to the Talking Tigers podcast, only from the Auburn Sports Network.
Thinking of medical school? Edward Via College of Osteopathic Medicine in Auburn has award-winning medical education and research programs. VCOM partners with Auburn University for student activities, research, and sports medicine physicians to care for Tiger athletes. VCOM is providing tomorrow's physicians for Auburn and the surrounding communities. Find out more at vcom.edu. That's vcom.edu.
And welcome back to the Tiger Tailgate Show. This is Patrick Tisdale filling in for Brad Law, who apparently opted out of the bowl game.
Yes, he did.
He did. He opted out.
He transferred to basketball season already, which, by the way, you'll be able to hear Brad Law tonight. What's the airtime, Andy? 7:30?
7:30.
As Auburn taking on Chattanooga from Neville Arena. And Brad Law, being the man of integrity that he is, wanted to maintain the integrity of the pick segment here. So he didn't trust any of you to run this. So he got me in on this.
Right.
So, Jason, sorry to say you can't pick the Missouri-Ohio State game. That's not going to fly today.
Hey, only thing I'm worried about right now is getting a heater. We're in a press box, but it's wide open.
You poor guy. I know Ronnie feels bad for you.
Golly.
Gosh.
So what's our Andy? Do you have our standings down there? I think Ben has it next to you.
Ben has the standings.
So we're looking at let's see, current standings. Andy's in the lead.
Yeah.
Paul right behind.
I'm calling for a recount.
Ronnie and Will and Jason in third and fourth. Point values are apparently tripled today.
For today.
So
how many games is Andy ahead?
One.
He's one ahead of me.
One ahead of Paul, two ahead of Ronnie and Will, and three ahead of you.
Oh, so I need to reach a little bit. I need to reach a little bit today.
You got to do some reaching.
You're gonna have to chase.
They changed the rules just to keep you alive.
Yeah. That's the Jason Campbell triple points for today.
I take out on that dinner tonight that Ben got to pay for. Tomahawk.
We're starting off with the Peach Bowl, which will be kicking off here in just a few minutes. Penn State and Ole Miss, number 10, number 11. They're both at 10-2 on the season. Penn State is a 4.5-point favorite in this one, and they are not a ton of opt-outs in this game, so it's pretty straightforward. Andy, you're in the lead. We'll start with you.
I'm going to go with Ole Miss in this game. This has been a good Ole Miss team. Sorry, guys. Everyone wants to chase. I'll take Ole Miss to win it.
All right. Paul?
Yeah, I hate to agree with Andy because I got to catch him today, but unfortunately, I think Ole Miss playing in Atlanta will win that game. They're an ascending program right now. They have done very well in the portal, and they continue to build over there.
Yeah. All right, Ronnie, what do you think?
Oh man, I'm with Paul. It's hard to pass somebody riding in the same lane, but I wanted to take Ole Miss. You just look at their coach. He's just kind of like whatever happens. So he's gonna throw everything.
He's got a good bowl mentality. Yeah,
he has the perfect mentality for a bowl game. So I'm going with Lane.
Paul, you mentioned gadget plays earlier. I think Lane might have a few gadget plays up his sleeve. Jason?
Yeah, I was going to go with Ole Miss, but, Lane has more transfer portal guys than high school players. He's decided not to recruit high school anymore. So, but I like Penn State. Penn State has done really well in New Year's Day bowls. So, it's not New Year's Day today, but have done really well in big-time bowl games. So I'm going to take Penn State.
All right, so Jason is just going to take whoever Andy doesn't because that's his only way to win. So next on the docket, we have the Orange Bowl, also known as the Opt-Out Bowl. This afternoon at 3 p.m., FSU and Georgia. Georgia, a slight favorite at 17.5. Paul?
No Brock Bowers for Georgia. No anybody left for Florida State. So I got to go with the Bulldogs. I think they'll just they'll romp down in Miami Gardens.
Yeah, I don't know who's playing for Florida State.
Can we just go against the point spread on this one?
No.
Do what you want to do.
Can we just go against the point
just
spread?
make up whatever rules you want.
The only way I
Jason.
can have a chance to win is if we go against the point spread.
Remember, point totals are tripled.
With triple
Florida
points,
State,
you're one game away.
Florida State get within 17 points.
No.
Yeah,
Well,
from the beginning.
Is anyone taking Florida State?
No.
Okay, we're all taking Georgia.
Everybody's taking
we're
Georgia.
all
It's
taking
a battle of the depth
Yeah.
charts.
Yeah.
You look at Georgia's been
I
top
agree.
recruiting class
Right.
for the last, I don't know how long.
We're all taking Georgia.
So nobody wants Florida State.
Confirming with you, right,
Not
Jason?
even Jason.
Yeah, everybody was
Nobody
scared to
wants
take the
it.
point
The
spread.
Big Ten doesn't want them. The SEC doesn't want them. The ACC doesn't want them.
They'll be like Notre Dame.
Playoff doesn't want them.
That's true.
Be by himself.
All right, so speaking of the playoffs, we have on New Year's Day, Michigan and Alabama, number 1, number 4, probably the least happy number 1 versus number 4 matchup, I would think, for number 1 in the history of the playoff. Michigan, 1.5 favorite. Ronnie, we'll start with you.
I'm going with the Crimson Tide. And a lot of the reason is because of I think the response that you saw a lot of the Michigan players have when they saw that they had drew Alabama. So I think Alabama's the more confident team going into this game.
All right, Jason?
Alabama's the most challenged team between the two going into this game. They have to win a couple tough games to get there. But in order for me to win this thing, I'm going to have to go with the cheaters. I mean, my bad. I didn't meant to say cheaters.
That doesn't narrow it down any on this one.
Say which one?
I'm going to go with that team up north. Michigan by 3.
All right, Andy?
I'm going with Alabama. I think Alabama's the better team. I think Alabama's playing better at this point of the season. They've been there. They have won games like this. Michigan has not won games like this of late. I'll take Alabama.
All right, Paul?
I'll go with Michigan. I'm going to have to catch Andy somehow, and I think I like that Michigan offensive line. So I'm going to go with the Wolverines, and we'll see what happens.
All right, and quickly, the other semifinal game, Washington and Texas. Texas, 4.5-point favorite. Jason, we'll start with you.
Well, I know all 3 of these guys going to go with Texas, but I'm going to pull a rabbit out my hat and go with Penance and the Washington Huskies.
Okay.
All right, Andy?
I'm going with Washington.
Oh, my gosh. I just knew you were going to say Texas.
That's called hedging your bets.
Can I go back on my pick now?
No. All right, Paul?
I have to go. Washington has a knack for winning close games. They don't look like the better team often, but boy, oh boy, do they win close games. However, I'm going with Texas.
All right, Ronnie.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Texas as well. Although Michael Penix can win any game,
Yes, he
I
can.
just like Texas. I think they have a little bit better chance of running the ball.
All right, we will have to wait and see who is going to win the coveted Stan White Picker of the Year award, which is only given to anybody but Stan because Stan retired.
Yeah,
correct.
Get a coffee mug.
At least according to Stan.
But he'll come and present it. So.
Yes.
And that's going to wrap up the first hour of the Tiger Tailgate Show. The Tiger Tailgate Show continues in a moment.
Time appliance deals during the closeout event at Lowe's. For a limited time, get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, get an additional 20% off in-store clearance appliances. Hurry, these deals are too good to last long. Shop in-store or online today because Lowe's knows deals. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid 12/28/23 through 1/3/24. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for details.
With Vizzy's vibrant dual flavors, the vibe is yours to decide.
I'm thinking Vizzy Refreshingly Berry. A round of blackberry lemon at the bar?
Well,
Could be good. Maybe Vizzy Vibrantly Tropical.
You always say vibrantly tropical.
Come on, a cooler full of papaya passion fruit on the beach?
Oh yeah, that's a vibe. I'm down.
Vizzy Hard Seltzer. Flavor for every vibe. Naturally flavored with other natural flavors. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Molson Coors Beverage Company. Milwaukee, Wisconsin flavored beer.
You've created a comfortable home office. Now let Carrier provide the cash bonus. For a limited time, you can claim up to $1,550 in cool cash rebates on a qualified Carrier home comfort system. There's never been a better time to upgrade to year-round premium comfort and energy savings.
Carrier, a proud partner of Auburn Athletics and special needs assistance stations for you. Turn to the experts with Carrier.
It takes hard work to be the best in the game. Planning, commitment, resilience, sweat. That's why Old Dominion Freight Line, the #1 national LTL carrier for quality, works hard to be the best in the game and is proud to support those striving to be the best in theirs. Old Dominion Freight Line, official freight carrier of Auburn Athletics, helping the world keep promises.
This is a 2-minute drill on the Tiger Tailgate Show, presented by Conecuh Sausage.
SEC bowl schedule for today getting underway in just a matter of minutes, about 5 minutes in fact, when the Ole Miss Rebels, ranked number 11 in the country, go against number 10 Penn State in Atlanta in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Both teams have 10 wins, 10-2 records coming in. Both teams trying to set the stage for what they hope will be a better year next year. Lane Kiffin, of course, the Portal King, going more with veteran experienced guys. Penn State's James Franklin recruiting high school kids up the Eastern Seaboard. It'll be interesting to see who has done better there. And both these teams certainly forging out great records, but unable to beat the top teams in their conference. Both the teams have lost 2 games to teams ranked just above them. So it'll be a great matchup in Atlanta in just a few minutes. Of course, Auburn against Maryland here. Maryland 7-5, Auburn 6-6, both considered ascending programs, but a lot of opt-outs to consider in this game, especially with Maryland's quarterback opting out. A little bit later on in the Orange Bowl, Miami Gardens, it'll be number 6 Georgia, number 5 Florida State. Georgia, a prohibitive favorite, as Florida State hit with a ton of opt-outs in that game. That's your SEC Bowl schedule for today. Earlier, Oklahoma State beat a diminished Texas A&M team, missing more than 25 scholarship players, 31-23. Also, Clemson beat Kentucky with a late score, 38-35, but late last night, Missouri finally got the SEC in winning ways as they dominated the second half and beat Ohio State 14-3. Ohio State also with a lot of opt-outs. That's your SEC Bowl outlook. Stay with us. This is the Auburn Sports Network from Playfly.
Presenting the all-new Aubie's Kids Club. Benefits include an exclusive Aubie-branded swag box or bag, t-shirt, membership card, access to exclusive Kids Club events, as well as free admission to non-conference baseball, softball, and women's basketball games. Members also get a monthly newsletter from Aubie, a special invitation to Aubie's birthday party, and a personalized birthday card. 2 membership options are available. Is the Auburn Sports Network. And it's time for another hour of the Tiger Tailgate Show, presented by Conecuh Sausage. Kanaka Sausage is the official sausage and hot dog of the Auburn Tigers. Straight ahead, more special guests and features, and a breakdown of the X's and O's as we move closer to kickoff. Here's Paul Ellen to start another hour of the Tiger Tailgate Show.
Welcome back to Nashville. It is a cool, make that semi-cold overcast day here in Nashville. Temperature in the low 40s and a very, very cloudy day. The Auburn Tigers have completed the Tiger Walk, and boy, the Auburn fans are out in force here in Nashville this week and this weekend for this Music City Bowl. The Auburn Band already in place, as is the Maryland Terrapin Band, and the Auburn Tigers have filed out onto the floor of the stadium, making the large circle before they go into the locker room and continue their pregame festivities. The Tiger Walk Report presented by the Alabama Department of Public Health to remind you, don't wait, vaccinate. Protect yourself and others by staying current on all recommended vaccines, including COVID and flu. Visit alabamapublichealth.gov/IMM. Well, Paul Ellen back with you, along with Andy Burcham, Jason Campbell, Ronnie Brown here in Nashville, Tennessee. As the Tigers on the field, we start to count things down here for the Music City Bowl. And let's talk. We've talked a lot about opt-outs, but let's talk, Andy, about guys, about game strategy and guys who have a chance to be the breakout players. Remember the Citrus Bowl a couple of years ago when Xavier Capers was the breakout star. You never know in a postseason game when you've got a month to play with who is going to be the big breakout star of the game.
Well, you look at Auburn's offense. Let's start there for the Auburn offense. And a couple guys have opted out, the wide receiving core, one of the tight ends. Beyond that, though, guys, I mean, this is a intact Auburn offense. The entire running back room is back. You've got your starting quarterback.
And the offensive line.
And your offensive line is back intact and added some depth with guys getting healthy as you're coming back. But, I mean, if there is a breakout guy, you would think, on Auburn's offense, if there is a breakout guy, it would come from that wide receiver core in this one.
Yeah, most definitely. You look at this offensive line, like you just said, coming back, that's our deepest part of our football team right now. And Gunnar Britton is excited to play this game. This is his last game in the uniform, and I think he's a guy on the offensive line to look for a force today. They're going to probably run the ball behind him a lot. And
he is 4-1 in bowl games.
Oh.
4-1 in bowl games.
Yeah, so Gunnar Britton is a guy that brings excitement to this offense. He plays with an edge. So I liked him from the offensive line standpoint. But if I had to go with a receiver today, I would probably say Jay Fair. I would probably say Javaris Johnson has left, which opened up that opportunity for him now to play that slot receiver. Pretty much him and Caleb Burton may alternate in and out, but I think Jay Fair has a chance.
And that's my guy. Caleb Burton is my guy as the breakout guy in that wide receiver room.
Yeah, because he's a speed guy. And Maryland expects Auburn to run the football. We ran the ball really well in the Iron Bowl, our last game we played. So they're going to load the box up and try to challenge us to throw the ball outside and see if we can stretch the field with our receiving core. It's kind of thin at this moment.
My guy, I think for me, it's Rivaldo Fairweather. Like I think his athletic ability will get him some opportunities. Obviously, he's the leading receiver for this Auburn football team. So I think a lot of times for a quarterback, it's the consistency and then having that trust. That's the guy I think that has the most trust, and so he'll probably get the most targets if I'm looking at the game based off of what's happened during this whole year.
Well, and he's a guy that has a chance to make history here today. He can break the single-season tight end reception record and the single-season tight end touchdown record. John Samuel Schenker with the receiving, and Philip Lessenkirk, and the late Philip Lessenkirk with the most touchdown catches in a season. He has a chance.
By a tight end,
Yes, by a tight end. But he has a chance to break both of those records. He's tied for both of those records here today.
All right, Jason, quick trivia question. If Gunnar Britton is 4-1 in bowl games, so this is his 6th bowl game, what is Joey Gatewood's record, who played for Auburn in this game 5 years ago and showed up on television the other night playing in another bowl game?
5-1?
Maybe so.
He can't have 6, I don't think.
He was the mop-up guy here. And then he went to Central Florida. This could be at least his 6th or 7th.
Goodness gracious.
We'll see how that is. All right, let's talk a little strategy now. You guys talked about receivers being the breakout guys, but don't you think that Coach Hugh Freeze is going to want to run the ball if he possibly can? The offensive line is intact. The running back room is intact. And even though Maryland had pretty good stats against the run, Auburn is by far the best running game ranked by national ranking that they have played.
Every interview that he has given, talking about Coach Freeze, our pregame, last night on Tiger Talk, anytime, the first key that he talks about is running the football today. He did it. Auburn did it better than anybody against Georgia. Auburn did it perhaps better than anybody against Alabama this season. And as a result, Auburn was within a touchdown of both of those ball games. And both of those teams are playing in big bowl games. Alabama, of course, will play for a national championship if it wins. So I don't think there's any question that, and we may see some trickeration out of Auburn's offense in some ways, but I think for Auburn to win this football game today, Ronnie Brown, Auburn's got to run the football. It's got to do it. It's got to do what it has done well all season long.
Yeah, and that's where these games start. They start in the trenches. One, you can't have the false starts and the penalties starting with that group of guys. But the other part of it is who's going to control the game. If you control the line of scrimmage, then you give yourselves a chance. I think we heard Hugh mention last night that this Maryland football team is not going to be afraid to put 8 people in the box. And so, if you can get, for me as a running back, I used to look at that as if I break one tackle, then I have an opportunity to go the long way as long as the receivers are blocked. But, you have to look at that as you have to start in the trenches and you have to be able to run the football. And if I'm this Auburn football team, that's the one way that I can impose my will on this Maryland football team is showing them that this is how we play SEC football, but then this is how, Auburn Tigers approach and attack the game is let's run the football, let's get downhill, and that's, get the game started that way.
All right, let's talk a little bit about Maryland now, though. They are a 70% passing team. They like to drop back and throw it at every opportunity. But with Talia gone, are they likely to do that? Are they going to change their personality in a month, or are they just going to try to plug Edwards in and say, hey, run this offense and throw the ball?
Well, when did they know that Talia was not going to play? I mean, it wasn't announced immediately that he – now, maybe they knew, but it wasn't announced immediately that he would not be the quarterback. I don't know how much time they've had to completely revamp an offense without Tagovailoa as the quarterback here.
That probably was by strategy, if you think about it. They probably did that to say, okay, we'll give Auburn the think that he's going to play or Talia will play, but then about, a week and a half ago, they just announced that he's not going to play in this game. Right. So then you have to adjust a little bit and start looking forward to playing against Edwards Jr. So sometimes those things are strategized, and you just never know. But I think in this ball game, Maryland is used to playing running teams. They had to play Michigan, they had to play Ohio State, and those type of teams, they love to run the football. So they're not going to be opposed to seeing Auburn run the football. I think what they're going to be wanting to do is offensively for them is how do they want to approach the game today? Will they continue? I think they still throw short passes. I think they still get their receivers too involved in this offense, because if you don't throw the ball, if you're Maryland, you take the best weapons that you have on offense out the game.
Well, we'll see what happens coming up in about 2 hours from now. We've alluded to the last time Auburn played on this field. It was a record-setting day. When we come back, we'll hear from the quarterback in that game, and he talks about how much he enjoyed that afternoon here in the Music City Bowl. Stay with us. The Tiger Tailgate Show continues in a moment.
The Whataburger Jalapeno Cheddar Biscuit is back, but some folks have yet to try it. So let's not do the thing where we're like, you've never had a jalapeno cheddar biscuit before? You know what? It's okay. Let's just invite them to try this flaky, cheesy, and slightly spicy goodness for themselves. The Jalapeno Cheddar Biscuit, available as a sandwich or on its own from 11 p.m. to 11 a.m. for a limited time at participating locations. Whataburger, just like you like it.
Auburn Bank presents Championship Moments.
Auburn finished its 1983 SEC championship season in the 50th edition of the Sugar Bowl against Michigan. The Tigers trailed 7-0 at halftime, but the methodical running attack wore the Wolverines down. Al Del Greco kicked a 31-yard field goal midway through the third quarter to get Auburn on the board. Another field goal closed the gap to 1. A few minutes later, it all came down to one more kick.
Hold your breath, cross your fingers, say a silent prayer for Al Del Greco. Angled to the right. The snap, the placement, the kick. It's good! It's good! Down they go! A 19-yarder! And Auburn leads Michigan with 23 seconds left to play.
Auburn rushed for over 300 yards as a team. Bo Jackson was named MVP, and Auburn finished the season 11-1. I'm Jacob Hillman, and this has been another championship moment presented by Auburn Bank, champions of you.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for... Aw, Jim.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
We're still on the air.
Hello, this is Coach Hugh Freeze. They say Coke Zero Sugar is irresistibly tasty. Does that make it the best Coke ever? Find out for yourself. War Eagle.
This is a 2-minute drill on the Tiger Tailgate Show, presented by Conecuh Sausage.
Paul Allen back here in Nashville with Andy Burcham. And Andy, we mentioned it earlier in passing, but basically after next week, a new era dawns in college football. It's going to be very different next year. No divisions, a 16-team SEC, and a 12-team playoff. A lot of priorities. We talk about the calendar being messed up now with the transfer portal and the recruiting calendar, but boy, oh boy, priorities are going to change dramatically next year.
Well, the first 5 games for Auburn will be played at Jordan-Hare Stadium.
Yep,
that's been announced.
That's interesting.
Auburn then will play completely on the road in October, and Auburn's schedule next year includes not 1 but 2 open weeks for the Tigers. I think we are going to see a more balanced schedule in the future.
Yeah.
Auburn has only been to Missouri once since Missouri joined the league. Missouri's only been to Auburn once, and there are other examples of that. Of course, Oklahoma and Texas come into the Southeastern Conference. Oklahoma makes a trip to Auburn. It's going to be fun to get those 2 teams in this league. And then at the end of the year, a 12-team playoff. And so if you are not one of your top 2 teams, as John Cohen mentioned on Tiger Talk last night, you may not be one of the teams playing for your conference championship, but you still may have a shot at that 12-team playoff. And from the SEC, you would think that team, if it has taken care of business through the season, will have that opportunity.
You take care of business and get to 9 or 10 wins. If you don't make your conference championship game, that may be a blessing in disguise.
Well,
you got a chance to be healthy.
This year, we would see perhaps Missouri and Ole Miss in the playoffs at this point.
Absolutely.
Next year.
And so what would be a playoff game just kicked off in Atlanta. Hey, stay with us. More to come on the Tiger Tailgate Show. This is the Auburn Sports Network from Playfly.
The Houston Clinic would like to welcome Dr. Brad Young, the newest addition to our team of experienced medical professionals at Auburn's Houston Clinic. Specializing in joint replacements, sports medicine, and arthroscopic surgery, Dr. Young has treated athletes and worked with sports teams from middle and high school to college and professional teams. Call now to schedule your evaluation. Houston Clinic. Research, education, treatment. Houston.com.
Here's a clip from a recent Talking Tigers podcast with Andy Burcham. Hal Baird.
One of the writers who had covered the Royals when I played there was a gentleman, you may have met him, his name was Tom Ash. Tom had become the Big 8 skywriter for the Cornhuskers. And he knew Bill Olson very well from right there in Omaha. And they just happened to be talking one day, and Tom said, have you talked to the Auburn coach? And Bill Olson said, well, no. And he said, well, you don't talk to him. So that kind of got us in the door a little bit, and I had my friends in Kansas City make a phone call or two and just to try to get in the door. And when we got him down here for a visit, of course, he loved it.
A new episode of the Talking Tigers podcast is released every Monday, wherever you listen to podcasts. Like and subscribe to the Talking Tigers podcast, only from the Auburn Sports Network.
When you see the SEC student athlete, it's easy to picture the swing, the stance, the form. But look closer, and you'll see the heart, the brain, the clutch lab partner, the avid two-stepper, the pride of a hometown, and a little brother's hero. More than students, more than athletes. In the SEC, it just means more.
Absolutely. War Eagle. Appreciate you guys having me on.
Let's just start right there. We want to range out a little bit, but your memories of that 2018 Music City Bowl, how soon did you know how much you had outsped this Purdue team?
Yeah, I mean, I remember that game obviously like it was yesterday. I mean, that was my final game in the blue and orange. And it's funny. I was actually telling somebody the other day. We schemed up one play on a short yardage type of situation, and I'll never forget. It was in the first quarter. We motioned the tight end in, and then I hit Booby up the left sideline for, I don't know, a 60-yard touchdown or something like that. And once that happened, I thought to myself, like, this could be a really good day for us. And I think that we set maybe a record for either first half points in a bowl game or something of the sort. And so, everything that was going our way that day really, really worked, and it was a lot of fun.
And I think you scored on 8 straight possessions. I think it was 56-7 or something at the half.
Yeah, no, it was, like I said, it was a lot of fun. And, anytime you can break a record with first half points or anything of the sort, it's a good day for the team for sure.
And knowing it's the last game for the seniors, that had to be a fun sideline.
Oh yeah, it was. I mean, the fun thing about it was that year obviously didn't go the way that we had wanted. The previous year going in the SEC championship and, being so close to the playoff that year just didn't go the way we had hoped, obviously. And, but being able to finish the season, the way that we did, battling back, especially for us that were seniors and leaving the program and, leaving it to the guys behind us, it was great to go out with a win like that and, really enjoy being an Auburn Tiger one last time.
Jarrett, back when I played, pretty much everybody played in bowl games. Even when you played, a lot of guys played in bowl games. You rarely ever saw guys opt out of bowl games.
Right.
How hard is it now? I know you're in the pros, but when you watch college football, if you didn't finish your career out playing in a bowl game, how would you have felt moving forward, gearing yourself up, ready to go into training for the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it's such a topic of conversation nowadays because, you have top guys not playing in the bowl game because they don't want to risk getting hurt. And, I totally understand that thought process. But just for me personally, there was no way that I could just, leave the guys on that one final game. We had, spent so much time together that season and went through so many, good things, bad things, everything in between. And so, for me, it was about putting the team first and trying to go out, one last time. But I mean, like I said, everybody has their own way of doing things, and I respect that. But me personally, I just felt like the best thing for me personally and for the team, more importantly, was to play that last game.
Jarrett, that game was over basically at the end of the first quarter. So by halftime, you pretty well know that this game is decided. Your last game playing for Auburn. How much did you enjoy just the second half, not having to worry about any of the drama of that day for you?
No, I mean, it's always fun. I mean, whenever you can, jump out to a lead like that early and, then it's about, there's certain plays that maybe you wouldn't have run in a certain situation that you run now. And, you just let loose and have fun. And obviously know that my time as an Auburn Tiger was coming to an end. And for us seniors, that's how it was. So just try to enjoy literally every single second of it. And, I can't remember exactly when I got pulled, maybe the third or fourth quarter, but, then cheering on the younger guys that, hadn't got to play much and, just seeing everybody, just being in a terrific mood, winning a bowl game and, finishing off the season the right way.
Jarrett, tell us about your journey to Auburn, if you would. You did not take the traditional journey that most guys take in their college career. Tell us about how, coming out of high school, how you wound up at Auburn.
Yeah, I mean, coming out of high school, ended up going to Baylor, for Coach Briles and his staff. And, they were at that point the best team in the Big 12. And so went there, played a little bit my freshman year, broke my ankle, playing against Oklahoma State. And the following spring, Coach Briles and that staff got fired. So, I decided to kind of take my future in my own hands and actually took that fall of 2016 off. Didn't play football. Actually ran a scout team for a local high school there in Waco, Texas, and I still had rent to pay, so I had to do something. So stayed down there. Went to a junior college, got my associate's degree. That was kind of a loophole back then on transferring. So got that and was able to transfer to Auburn in January of 17 and, hit the ground running from there and loved every second of it. I wouldn't change that for the world. So Auburn's obviously a special place and, somewhere that I hope my kids can go in the future for sure.
And Jared, talking about that, coming over from Baylor, Peyton Thorne coming over from Michigan State, and looking like he's going to come back for another year. How did you feel from your first year as a transfer quarterback to the fall of the second year? Like, how much of an adjustment were you and how much more comfortable were you?
Yeah, obviously there's always an adjustment anytime, any player, transfers, but especially at the quarterback position. I know Peyton coming over, it's funny, Monty, I call him Monty, but Philip Montgomery, he was actually the first coach to ever recruit me back in high school. He was the first coach to offer me whenever he was the OC there at Baylor. So me and Monty go way, way back. And, anytime you get with a new coach, new staff, getting in a new system, it takes some time to really understand, okay, what are the coaches trying to call here in a certain situation and just, being the coach on the field. And obviously, once you get past that first year, get into the second year, getting more comfortable, not only with the coaches, but the players, the scheme, and having more of an understanding of, the bigger picture instead of, okay, like, what am I doing on this one specific play? What's my job? And understanding not only what is my job, but what is everybody else's job. So I think that's, good for Peyton and obviously any other guy, coming in, in that similar situation.
Aaron, a lot of things we'd like to talk to you about. We're kind of running out of time. We appreciate the time you're giving us. We'd like to talk a little bit about that 2017 finish, but we'll do that another time. Thank you for your time today, and thank you for those Music City Bowl memories. War Eagle to you.
War Eagle, guys. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
And that's Jarrett Stidham. Played his last game for Auburn right here in Nashville in this Music City Bowl and set all sorts of offensive records as Auburn rolled over another Big Ten team, and that was Purdue. Don't expect the same situation as the world of college football has changed dramatically in the last 5 years. Hey, if you're looking for an easy, seamless transition to Auburn University, consider Southern Union State Community College. Conveniently located only a few miles from Auburn, Southern Union offers classes that easily transfer to the university. Endless opportunities are right up the road. Well, stay with us. More to come as we count it down for kickoff for Auburn against Maryland here in the 2023 Music City Bowl. The Tiger Tailgate Show continues in a moment.
Who out there likes chicken and eggs? Both are protein-packed and loaded with essential vitamins and minerals to keep you healthy and your immune system strong. Start your morning with a delicious omelet with all your favorite fix-ins. Or have some grilled chicken for dinner. Here in Alabama, we produce almost 500 million eggs a year. You just can't beat that. However you choose to enjoy chicken or eggs, remember, they're good for you and great for Alabama.
This broadcast of Auburn football is brought to you in part by Moe's Original Barbecue. Moe's Original Barbecue in Auburn is the place to go for a Southern soul food revival made from scratch with Southern hospitality. It's also a great place to catch all the games on Saturday when Auburn's on the road. Plus, make us a part of your tailgate experience with our catering options available for pickup or delivery. Moe's Original Barbecue with 2 locations in Auburn, downtown and on Bent Creek Road.
Thinking of medical school? Edward Via College of Osteopathic Medicine in Auburn has award-winning medical education and research programs. VCOM partners with Auburn University for student activities, research, and sports medicine physicians to care for Tiger athletes. VCOM is providing tomorrow's physicians for Auburn and the surrounding communities. Find out more at vcom.edu. That's vcom.edu.
Hey, I'm Charles Barkley.
Call for a Redmont and water at bars and restaurants throughout the great state of Alabama. Redmont Vodka, available at select ABC stores and package stores. Redmont Vodka is 8 times distilled, gluten-free, and is made from non-GMO corn. Looking to support a local business? Redmont Distilling is Alabama proud and minority owned. Learn more online at redmontdistilling.com.
This is a 2-minute drill on the Tiger Tailgate Show, presented by Conecuh Sausage.
Paul Ellen back here with Jason Campbell as we continue to count it down. Auburn against Maryland here in the Music City Bowl. And Jason, talk about bowl games. You got a little bowl experience. You were redshirted your freshman year, and you wound up making 5 bowl trips. Tell us about the best and the worst and the most unique that you had.
Well, the bigger bowl games, you always got more per diem. So I was all about getting that per diem.
That was your version of NIL at that point, huh?
Right, that's about all you going to get. But I tell you what, went to the Capital One Bowl my redshirt year and then went back my sophomore year. That was a really good experience down in Orlando. It was warm weather. Really enjoyed that. Music City Bowl here in 03 kind of tipped off the 04 season. Ripping off 15 games in a row. That was a key game here in the Music City Bowl. But going to that Sugar Bowl, being down, even though we wanted to play the national championship game, being down in New Orleans was a great fun experience. A couple of my friends down on Bourbon Street having a good time. And, you can imagine being out of Ronnie and Lack and some of those guys close to the Cherokee Harris Casino.
Some of the per diem didn't make it back with you is what you're saying.
Some of the guys doubled the per diem and some of them lost the per diem, and all in a matter of 5 minutes.
That could happen there. Any favorites? Was that Sugar Bowl your favorite bowl trip?
I'd probably say Sugar Bowl is our favorite because back then the BCS games were huge. If you made it to a BCS one of those games, it was a huge accomplishment for your school and especially for our conference. And like I said, it was for us. We wanted to finish off the season the right way and finish an undefeated historic year. We didn't want to go into that game and, hold on to our emotions that we wasn't in the Orange Bowl, but to go ahead and then finish, because if we didn't finish that game, we wouldn't be talked about as one of the greatest teams in college.
Those are good memories. Stay with us. That's a 2-minute drill, and this is the Auburn Sports Network from Playfly
Radio, bringing you inside Neville Arena for all the action of men's and women's basketball game day with no delay. Every dunk, block shot, and steal, plus all the analysis from our Hall of Fame coaches, all with no delay. $25 new or $10 to reprogram the one you already have. Also, use it for every broadcast of home baseball and softball games this spring, all with no delay. With live sports radio, presented by Alpha Insurance.
Hey, I'm Charles Barkley. Call for a Redmont and water at bars and restaurants throughout the great state of Alabama. Redmont Vodka, available at select ABC stores and package stores. Redmont Vodka is 8 times distilled, gluten-free, and is made from non-GMO corn. Looking to support a local business? Redmont Distilling is Alabama proud and minority owned. Learn more online at redmontdistilling.com.
How are you the ultimate Auburn fan? Because I got this air horn installed in my throat. Pretty sick, right? Yes. You look really sick. What doctor would even do this? Doctor? I did this myself. I mean, I can't swallow whole food, but still. Wait, what? Just gotta plow through it. Hey, can I get a couple of soups up here? What about some chamomile tea? Don't be that guy. Get a fan card. The smart way to be the ultimate Tigers fan. Just go to auburncards.com.
We always picture the SEC student athlete for their speed, their vertical, their agility. But it's time we picture them for more. For their campus voice, their community outreach, and for the simple fact that 20 years later, they're still someone's pride and joy. More than students, more than athletes. In the SEC, it just means more.
It has been a great week for Auburn fans and this Auburn team and all the travel party to be in Nashville, Tennessee. A little bit chilly. The weather today going to top out around 43 degrees. That'll affect Ronnie Brown more than any of our crew, but I don't think it'll affect the game very much. One of the big highlights of the week came last night. Basically an Auburn pep rally at the Wild Horse Saloon in downtown Nashville. Tremendous venue with 3 levels, house band, and of course we did Tiger Talk from there. If you didn't get to hear it, Coach Hugh Freeze was on with us for the first half. He had a lot to say about this upcoming game, Auburn against Maryland.
Your class ranked as high as number 7, a first full recruiting class. Just give us your thoughts now, about a week or so since signing day, Coach.
Well, congratulations to our staff. There's so many people that put so much into recruiting, and I know that our on-the-field coaches get a lot of the credit because we're on the road the most, but there's so many people behind the scenes that do so much during the course of a year of recruiting, and so they did a really nice job of selling Auburn, and Auburn does that to itself. Our people, our fans, when they come to games and they see the energy in the stands, it's all a part of the process. And I do think we made a concerted effort to really focus on the high school recruiting class. And as soon as the portal started popping, which don't get me started on our calendar right now. I mean, the calendar is messed up, really messed up. But I think we really did a good job of saying, no, we're going to focus on finishing our high school kids and not get into the portal race and try to build this program with high school players for the majority of the class. And I thought we finished really, really strong, getting kids like Amaris Williams, who I think is going to be just a stud at the end, along with holding on to some of the ones that we already had. And we had a battle down to the wire, for several others that we won some, didn't win some, and that happens in this league. But we won our share, and as long as you're in that, top 7 to 5 range, I think you have a legitimate shot at building an elite program. And we're there's still a few more out there. One big one still out there that, if we get him, I think we're going to be 3rd in the country. So whoever that him is, I can't say that, but
it must be pretty good.
It must be pretty good.
I think they keep it over Auburn football. They about know who that is.
I think so, and we're going to fight like heck to get that across the finish line, and that might get us a top 5 class in year 1, which would be a really good start. And then now we've got to go fill the holes, because you can't project how many kids you're losing in the portal. Right. So it's impossible to know how many high schoolers to really recruit. And so now you've got to go fill some holes. We've already got some visits lined up for next weekend. Again, the calendar is so crazy, but we've got a few visits lined up for next weekend to try to fill a few of the holes.
Talking about recruiting, most people say recruiting is a 2 or 3 year process. I know it can't possibly seem like it's only been 1 year. Can you look back on the last 12 months? Do you even remember the last 12 months that you've gone through?
It's probably been the hardest 12 months of my coaching career, truthfully, on me physically, and just the grind of it, with all the new things that are added to the college game. It's no longer just about recruiting. I mean, you got to constantly recruit your own players now and monitor what's going on there, plus the transfer portal, and wondering how many kids you're truthfully going to sign. It used to, it was pretty easy. I mean, you were going to sign 25 kids and you were going to figure out how to get your 85. And now, man, it is, you may have to sign 38 kids to get to your 85. And you don't really know that, particularly with the length of the portal that they leave open, which shouldn't be that long. Yeah. I mean, the portal ought to be about a 7-day deal right after the season, and and that's it. And then we know who's in and who's out, and we move on. But this thing, with it stretching all the way through Christmas and the New Year's, is out of control.
And will it get to a point, because right now there's a 2 transfer portal window. Mm-hmm. You have another one that comes up after spring ball. Mm-hmm. Is that one just as tough, because you work with some guys all spring, you're getting the team ready to go out and play, and you think about the team you're going to have in the fall, then all of a sudden this guy come knock on your door and say, "Coach, I'm entering the portal." How hard is that to manage?
Yeah, impossible to manage, truthfully. And But it is what it is. I just wish that both the portal windows, here it is, it's 7 days, and you either get in or you get out, and we're able to then move on. And I think it would limit some of these crazy numbers that are going in that I think ultimately are going to hurt so many young men and getting a degree and a chance to use that degree in life. Let's not even talk about football. We know only 1.7% of them are going to the NFL, and the rest of them should be in this to use the opportunity to build relationships and to connections that get a degree that pay off for them and their family and life. And I think we're really doing them a disservice by these thousands and thousands that are entering the portal, and many will not have a home when it's all said and done, and have made a fatal decision. And I told our team yesterday, you know, I certainly don't want to be morbid up here, but the guys that were in my wedding and that will carry my casket one day if they're still alive are my teammates. Yeah. And we are missing that now. Yeah. Because everything has just started to where it's just about me and the voices I hear of what's best for me, and we're missing the opportunity to build so many genuine relationships, and that's my goal for 24. And I've told them that is to be intentional about us having true community and real authentic relationships and modeling that.
Yeah, and Coach, as we talk about those relationships and the moving parts and things that get underestimated, for you, who is that sounding board? Who is that voice of reason? You know, as you talked about how strenuous this process is, the last year, both mentally and physically, like who is that person, or do you have that person for Coach Freeze that kind of allows you or tells you, all right, Coach, you're doing a little bit too much. You need to relax a little bit. Yeah. Do you have that person?
I do. I mean, it starts with my wife. She would be the first to, who's here somewhere, but she's the first to say, you know, you need to check yourself, man. You're because I'll tell her this craziness is stealing my joy some, and she's quick to check me and say, well, then you're searching for your joy in the wrong places, and so I have her, and then I have 3 friends that I have check-ins with quite frequently, and they ask me the real hard questions and the tough questions, and when they start going through the questions, I can immediately say, yeah, you know, I'm not focusing on the right things constantly, and I'm getting too caught up in the results of recruiting and holding on to this kid and what the scoreboard says, and so those people help me keep balanced.
Iron sharpens iron.
It does.
All right.
You better have that.
Yep.
All right, Coach, as you talk strategy going into a bowl game, you're talking about playing some young guys, but then you want to start the new year off right. What's the strategy? What's the mindset going into the game? You know, obviously Maryland, you said they'll commit 8 guys to the box because they haven't done a great job of defending running quarterbacks, but how do you approach that as, you know, from a mindset? Do I just win this game at all costs, or is it just kind of trying to position, you know, getting some usage out of different guys?
I want to win. I've made that clear to our team. I want us to win. I want us to compete and represent Auburn, our fans, our administration, in a way that makes them proud. And you know, is our depth chart where Maryland's is in year 1 of our tenure to theirs? I don't know, but you know, we still should go into the game with the mindset of we've got to win, and I think the most physical team that takes care of the football and runs the football the best will probably win the game, and that's our anticipation, is that we're going to go in there and be the most physical team and run the ball and hopefully stop the run, you know, and that's our we've made our meeting tonight was very clear. Let's establish the line of scrimmage on both sides and go win this football game.
That's Coach Hugh Freeze last night at the Wild Horse Saloon in downtown Nashville, a big gathering of Auburn fans taking over Broadway in Nashville. Hey, Jack's is bringing a sleigh load of bacon to its southern favorites this holiday season. There's the big BLT, the chicken BLT, and our bacon double cheeseburger. Order online and eat at jacks.com. Stay with us. The Tiger Tailgate Show continues in a moment.
The game has changed, and the future of Auburn athletics now demands a strong NIL program. I'm Jason Campbell. Let's come together, Auburn family, and make a lasting impact. Visit OnToVictory.com. Every dollar you contribute to On to Victory helps create NIL opportunities for our student athletes. Visit www.ontovictory.com and be a part of changing the game for Auburn athletics.
How Far Do They Drive is presented by your local Toyota dealer. No matter your destination, Toyota goes with you. In the 2003 Music City Bowl, Will Herring intercepted Wisconsin quarterback Jim Sorgi to give Auburn the ball at his own 13-yard line with under 6 minutes to play, and the score tied at 14. Back-to-back explosive plays to Jarris McIntyre and Silas Daniels set the Tigers up inside the 10. 2 plays later, the reliable running game struck again.
Grubbs in motion, 3 tight end set. Here's the handoff to Brown. Looks for room, spins. He's in. Touchdown, Tigers! And they lead at 20-14 with 3:30 to go.
The drive covered 87 yards in 6 plays and helped the Tigers to a 28-14 victory in Nashville. Visit your local Toyota dealers or explore Toyota.com today. Toyota, let's go places.
Don't you mean fa la 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 la?
Nope, we're shaking things up.
Whatever you say.
Shake things up this season at the Toyotathon sales event. Lease a new 2024 Toyota RAV4 LE for $339 a month for 24 months, plus $500 holiday bonus cash. Toyota, let's go places. Offer valid through January 2nd, 2024. Well-qualified lessees with approved credit through Southeast Toyota Finance. 3638 due at signing. No security deposit with select equipment. $350 disposition fee. Excludes tax, tag, registration, title, and dealer fees. See dealer for details.
This is a 2-minute drill on the Tiger Tailgate Show, presented by Conecuh Sausage.
All right, Paul Elliott here in Nashville with Ronnie Brown as we count it down to Auburn against Maryland. Ronnie, 2 days away. That magic day, we turn the calendar over, throw the old calendar away, and you start out with all the best intentions of the new year. Tell me about your New Year's resolutions both this year and what New Year's resolutions have you been able to keep in the past and what have failed miserably for you?
Yeah, I think the New Year's resolutions kind of faded away from me. I realized that wasn't a task that I was up for. And the big one is, shedding a few pounds, whereas now, as I've gotten older, I need a lifestyle change. So it's not about a resolution, and it's not a few. It's a lot of pounds now, and they're a lot harder to get rid of. But really just trying to implement new lifestyle changes, whether that's, healthy eating habits, obviously being a lot more structured and prepared with kids' schedules and all of those things, trying to plan, whether it's vacations and all of those things. I just want to be a little bit better with some of those things with work and, just trying to be acclimated and just do a better job. So 1% a day, that's my rule for the new year.
You don't sit down with the wife and family and say, this is what we're going to do this year and check it off month by month.
I usually have that conversation. I'm on the listening end of it, though. I'm not controlling that one.
I got you. That's New Year's coming up, and of course there'll be a lot of football this weekend, as there always is in the college football calendar on New Year's weekend. One game to update you on today. They played about 11 minutes in the Peach Bowl. Ole Miss and Penn State tied at 3. Each team with a long drive for a field goal and some interesting plays there as well. 3-3 in the Peach Bowl. Stay with us. This is the Auburn Sports Network from Playfly.
This is Greg Bell, radio voice of the Scottsboro Wildcats. For complete coverage of Wildcat athletics, tune in to 1050 WWIC in Scottsboro. Football, boys and girls basketball, baseball, and softball. Nobody provides better coverage of the Scottsboro Wildcats than WWIC Radio. For all things Scottsboro Wildcats, tune in to WWIC 1050 AM and WWICradio.com. Scottsboro Wildcat Radio.
Don't you mean fa la 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 la?
Nope, we're shaking things up.
Whatever you say.
Shake things up this season at the Toyotathon sales event. Lease a new 2024 Toyota RAV4 LE for $339 a month for 24 months, plus $500 holiday bonus cash. Toyota, let's go places. Offer valid through January 2nd, 2024. Well-qualified lessees with approved credit through Southeast Toyota Finance. 3638 due at signing. No security deposit with select equipment. $350 disposition fee. Excludes tax, tag, registration, title, and dealer fees. See dealer for details.
Saturdays in the South mean football and outdoor projects.
And when it comes to outdoor projects, nothing beats quality John Deere equipment from a team you can depend on. That's why we trust Sun South, where owning the best equipment made is easy and affordable, whether you're working on your lawn, camp, farm, job site, or even ball field. For all your outdoor equipment needs, visit Sun South with 21 convenient locations, or shop online at sunsouth.com. Sun South, equipment for those that do. Sun South is the preferred tractor dealer of the Auburn Tigers.
Hey Auburn fans, it's time to stretch those legs and reach for another bag of Golden Flake. Home or away, with family or friends, you know no game day is complete without your favorite snack. So enjoy Golden Flake or any of our other delicious snacks from the Utz family of brands and sit back for the rest of the game. Golden Flake in Auburn football, a winning team. Simple Southern goodness. Golden Flake, celebrating 66 years as the official salty snack of the Auburn Tigers.
Welcome back to the Tiger Tailgate Show. Auburn and Maryland coming up in the Music City Bowl. One of the legends of the broadcast business is a guy named Johnny Holliday. He's been around for a long, long time, working in national radio primarily, and he has been the voice of the Maryland Terrapins for 47 years or so. I may have gotten that wrong by a year or two, but he took time to visit with us and visit with Andy Burcham, and we're going to talk to Johnny about this game and about his career.
Talking with Coach Freeze, one of the games that he talks about for Maryland this season was the Michigan game, a game that Maryland did not win, but how impressed he was with how Maryland played against a team that's going to be playing in the playoffs here in a couple of weeks.
Probably like your game against Alabama, right?
Right, yeah.
I mean, you guys should have won that game against Alabama. You lost to two ranked teams by 7 points.
Yeah, Georgia and Alabama.
And Alabama, yeah. I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. But they let the Michigan game get away. The only game that they really were not in this year was the Penn State game. And Penn State just, had a field day. Ohio State, they led at halftime against the Buckeyes. So they played, it's been consistency. It's been mistakes that they made over and over again, shooting themselves in the foot. And that's one thing that Coach Loxley continues to preach and preach and preach. Let's don't beat ourselves. If we get beat by the other team, that's fine. But don't continue to make mistakes in crucial situations that are going to cost you the game. And it happened against Michigan, happened against Ohio State, and a couple of other games as well they let get away. Yeah. But it's a chance to win 8 games again, which they haven't done back-to-back years in a long time.
Auburn fans are familiar with Coach Loxley from his days as an assistant at Alabama. What has he done for the Maryland football program since taking over as the head coach?
He's been here before, which kind of helps. He was on Ralph Regent's staff back in the early 2000s when they were going to bowl game after bowl game and winning ACC championships. And he's a local guy. Went to Towson University, grew up here in Washington. He's a tremendous, tremendous recruiter. He just gets a top 20 class almost every year to come to Maryland. And the one thing that has impressed me about Mike is that every single kid in the team feels like he's Mike Loxley's son. He lost his son. He and his wife lost his son in a tragic accident. So he's gone through some real tough times with losing a member of the family. So he engages these kids and engages the families that say, when your boy comes to play here at Maryland, when your son comes to play for me, I'm going to make sure he leaves this university with his degree, number one. He may not play at the next level, but he'll be ready for the workforce, whatever that may be. He'll be well prepared, and we're going to watch after him and nurture him and get him ready. He just believes in every single kid. And Andy, you can see this when we do a radio show. The players come on, and they can take shots at him. He can take shots at them like it's routine. And they laugh and they joke. And a lot of coaches and players don't have that relationship. They become intimidated when the head coach is sitting there next to them, and they're kind of guarded in their conversations and their answers, but not with Loxley. He's as open, as nice. He's a delight to work with. I really enjoy him. We do the radio show together. We've done all sorts of things, and he's one of the best. One of the best.
We've had the media days at Auburn as well, and talking with players the last 2 days, and I ask about when they turn on the tape and talk about the Maryland defense. And you talk about Maryland the last couple of years. One of the first things they talk about typically is the cornerbacks, Johnny. I mean, how well this team covers opposing wide receivers. Is that a mark of a Coach Loxley coached defense?
Well, he was a safety at Towson. He was a safety himself defensively, so he focuses a lot on defense. And we've had a fair amount of success with the guys in the secondary. Tarheeb still, unfortunately, will not play. Dante Trader, a two-sport guy. He's an All-American in lacrosse as well as all-conference in the Big Ten in that secondary. You've got Bo Braid, who's tremendous. So those guys, they're veteran guys who've been around a long time. But one thing Loxley's done also late in the season, he's been more involved in the offensive play calling, too. Okay. We had some problems with establishing offense, so he took over, or he oversaw a little bit more and had more input. So I think that's been a little change in our program as well, with him getting involved more in the offensive work. But the defense, the secondary and the linebackers have been tremendous. The starting middle linebacker, Jayshawn Barham, has gone to the transfer portal, and he was a tremendous, tremendous key to the success of the defense. I think he was third overall in tackles. Bo Braid in that secondary may be number one in tackles, which is either good or bad. You don't want to have your safety leading your team in tackles. But defensively, they've had a marked improvement over the last couple of years.
The stories you have in your career.
Well, my book is available, Andy. You obviously don't have a copy yet.
I do not. No, I do not.
I'll bring one to
thank you,
Nashville. Yeah.
And
it's an autobiography called From Rock to Jock. Okay.
Will you sign it for me?
Yeah, and Tony Kornheiser does the foreword, and Dick Vitale does the afterword. And it's got a lot of things, especially for young broadcasters, and they can see all the roadblocks that I hit in this field, and how I got around those roadblocks, how diversification paid off for me.
Right.
It's got, and people, you'd love the book, because you could, and a lot of things I went through that you went through, I'm sure. Same thing.
I look forward to it. Johnny, thank you very much for your time. I wish you a Merry Christmas and look forward to seeing you in Nashville. Have a great day.
And Merry Christmas to you and all the Auburn fans. We'll look forward to seeing you guys too.
That's the legendary Johnny Holiday, voice of the Maryland Terps. As we talk about matchups, Ronnie, very quickly, it sounds like Auburn and Maryland on parallel paths. The head coaches of both teams got more involved with the offense as they came down the stretch run, and it paid off for both teams.
Yeah, and I think just having that involvement of knowing as a head coach what you want to see. And just putting your touch on it. It's still collaboration, but I think you have a better idea as the lead man of what you want to see, and you put your touches on it. And I think both teams have had some success in that area.
Well, it'll be interesting to see today. Mike Loxley and Hugh Freeze, both known as offensive minds. They both have excellent defensive coordinators, and we'll see how it matches up here this afternoon at Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee. Beautiful setting right by the river. Well, that's going to do it for the Tiger Tailgate Show, presented by Conecuh Sausage. Thanks to our guest, Mario Eden, Dean of Ginn College of Engineering, Maryland play-by-play voice Johnny Holiday, and former Tiger standout Jarrett Stidham. Now stay tuned for the Outdoor Alabama Countdown to Kickoff, featuring more matchup analysis, the SEC Report, starting lineups, interviews with Hugh Freeze, coordinators and players, and more ahead of today's climactic finale to the 2023 season, the Music City Bowl from Nashville. The players on the field right now, at least the specialty players, both bands in place, and the fans starting to file into the stadium here on an overcast and cold day. Temperature in the low 40s today as we get set for football. Still to come, one more 2-minute drill. Stick around for that, and thank you for listening to the Tiger Tailgate Show here today from Nashville.
Conecuh Sausage is a fan favorite for tailgating, always great on the grill, and it's the official sausage dog and hot dog of the Auburn Tigers. Conecuh Sausage is made from the finest cuts of pork, their patented blend of seasonings, and smoked over a pure hickory fire for that true southern flavor. Be sure to visit the Conecuh Gift Shop in Evergreen, Alabama, right off I-65 at exit 96. Enjoy a crowd-pleasing Conecuh sausage dog while watching the Tigers and make Conecuh part of your game day. Conecuh sausage since 1947, a real winner.
1907. Auburn had no paved roads, no local newspaper, a few automobiles, very little electricity or indoor plumbing, and one bank, Auburn Bank. For all these years, we've had a part in shaping and serving Auburn, Opelika, and East Alabama, a steadfast partner to our customers, meeting financial needs at just the right times. How do we know our community so well? Because we've grown up together. Auburn Bank, champions of you. Member FDIC, online at auburnbank.com.
Sports not only bring us together, they inspire us on our own health journeys. Whether we're walking an extra lap, crushing a new goal, we're spending time with friends cheering in the stands. We all win when we feel healthier and happier. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Alabama is a proud sponsor of athletic programs across the state. Because a healthier Alabama is a happier Alabama. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Alabama. We cover what matters.
The Whataburger Jalapeno Cheddar Biscuit is back. But some folks have yet to try it. So let's not do the thing where we're like, "You've never had a jalapeno cheddar biscuit before?" You know what? It's okay. Let's just invite them to try this flaky, cheesy, and slightly spicy goodness for themselves. The Jalapeno Cheddar Biscuit, available as a sandwich or on its own from 11 p.m. to 11 a.m. for a limited time at participating locations. Whataburger, just like you like it.
This is a 2-minute drill on the Tiger Tailgate Show, presented by Conecuh Sausage.
Well, big day and big weekend for the SEC. 9 teams from the SEC involved in bowl games, and they're all backloaded. Only 3 so far. The conference is 2-1 in bowl action, finally getting a win last night as Missouri outlasted Ohio State with a great second half and 2 lengthy drives, 91 and 95 yards, to knock off the Buckeyes. Today, well, one game already underway as 11th-ranked Ole Miss leads number 10 Penn State 10-3 at the end of the first quarter. Penn State is driving inside the Ole Miss 10-yard line as they go to the second quarter there in Atlanta. Of course, Auburn, the second game against Maryland of the Big Ten today. And then Georgia will take on Florida State. The Bulldogs, a huge favorite. They're 6th in the country, Florida State 5th. But Florida State, a very disappointed team with a lot of opt-outs. And as a result, Georgia, a 3-touchdown favorite in that game. Later on in the weekend, it'll be more SEC football on Monday. LSU will take on Wisconsin. LSU a slight favorite, actually a 10-point favorite in that game as they play in the ReliaQuest Bowl, formerly the Outback Bowl. A little bit later on, with the over-under only 35 points, as 17th-ranked Iowa takes on Tennessee, number 21, in the Citrus Bowl. And that'll be an interesting game. Tennessee's quarterback, Milton, has opted out. Iowa, of course, a great defense and one of the worst offenses in the nation. And then the first playoff game also involves the SEC as 4th-ranked Alabama goes against number 1 Michigan out in the Rose Bowl. So a lot of SEC action coming up. That's your 2-minute drill.